You're watching WKYC, Channel 3. And now, news from Connie Deacon and Dick Fagler. Exclusive Doppler 3 forecasts from Amy Haston, plus Jim Donovan on sports. This is Channel 3 News.
The children of Abraham, the descendants of Isaac and Ishmael, have embarked together on a bold journey. Together, today, with all our hearts and all our souls, we bid them shalom, salam, peace.
It was nothing short of miraculous as two veteran warriors of the Middle East battlefields joined a young American president in the first step toward peace in a land that's going to have to define that word for the people who live there. Good evening, everybody. It is our top story tonight, a stunning day of historic firsts on the south lawn of the White House.
Two men who were bitter enemies for decades offer each other the olive branch that will hopefully lead to peace in the Middle East. Channel 3's Lisa Colagrassi has been following today's events, and now she joins us with the story. Lisa.
Well, Connie and Dick, it really is a new chapter in Middle East history, a history marred by nearly constant bloodshed and failed attempts at peace. But now maybe, just maybe, this is an agreement that will stick. On the south lawn of the House, the sun shone on the dawn of a new Middle East peace agreement. Two bitter enemies, PLO leader Yasser Arafat and Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, came together. That in itself would have been unthinkable years ago. President Bill Clinton says the accord brings hope to a long troubled region.
For them, we must realize the prophecy of Isaiah, that the cry of violence shall no more be heard in your land, nor wrack nor ruin within your borders.
The agreement calls for an Israeli pullout and Palestinian self-rule in Gaza and Jericho within 3 months, and in most West Bank towns in 10 months. It was signed by representatives of the two sides, but Arafat and Rabin did shake hands.
We who have fought against you, the Palestinians, we say to you today, in a loud and a clear voice, enough of blood and tears. Enough.
My people are hoping that this agreement, which we are signing today, marks the beginning of the end of a chapter of pain and suffering which has lasted throughout the century.
The agreement is full of good intentions meant to cut through decades of fighting, but will it hold?
It's a very gutsy move on both of their parts, and what no one knows is who wants to undermine it, and if they're going to do it, what the responses are going to be.
All political eyes will be on the Middle East to see if the fragile stability will last. Now, on a side note, President Clinton has a few house guests tonight. For the first time in history, two former presidents will be bunking with their successor. Presidents George Bush and Jimmy Carter have accepted invitations to spend the night because they were at the ceremony today on the South Lawn, and might be some interesting late-night conversations there tonight.
Pillow talk tonight, huh? Thanks, Lisa. Well, reaction to today's historic signing was mixed. Just yards from the South Lawn signing ceremony, a brawl ensued between protesters during the ceremony. Jews and Palestinians traded angry words and punches while signs and banners flew, some calling Rabin a traitor. A SWAT team was called in to quell the disturbance, and police made over 20 arrests and skirmishes throughout the city. There were also reports of violence in the Gaza Strip and Beirut, Lebanon as well. And meanwhile, in Israel, the Palestinian flag, once banned in Israel, waved proudly in Jerusalem as Arabs celebrated the signing of a historic peace agreement. Youth hung thousands of the flags, which have stood for 6 years as a symbol of the Palestinian uprising against the Israeli state. Israeli police and soldiers were content to stand on the sidelines and watch as the celebrations unfolded. Israelis waved their own flags and sang on the street to celebrate the accord, which will result in partial self-rule for Palestinians living in the Israeli-occupied Gaza Strip in the city of Jericho. And here's a sign of progress toward peace already. In the Jerusalem Hotel, a group of Palestinians and Israelis gathered to watch a live broadcast of the signing ceremony in Washington.
Well, from the protests there in the Middle East to protests, or rather even the lack of them, here in Seven Hills.